Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, September 9th, 2018. The main impacts we have coming for the week include some very strong winds moving into the Great Basin early in the week. Not so much today, but Monday and Tuesday across much of Idaho on Monday, and then continuing over Nevada and Utah into Tuesday. We are looking for a pretty strong cold front to be moving into the northwest and northern Rockies, and that will draw some cooler temperatures and cooler air into the Great Basin by midweek. The past 24 hours were generally sunny and warm with some gusty winds. We did see some isolated thunderstorms over northeast Utah yesterday. Fire activity remains fairly steady with some new initial attack fires over eastern Idaho, northern Utah, and western Nevada. And some of our ongoing large fires continue to be fairly active. The observed precipitation is shown here for the past 7 and 14 days. We continue to see this dry pattern in place over northern Nevada and northwest Utah, and even Idaho has been dry for the past week or so. ERCs remain pretty high for the time of year, especially over Idaho and northern Nevada and northwest Utah, where some of those percentiles are above the 90th percentile. Taking a closer look at these ERC trends for northwest Utah and western Nevada, we can see that we are setting new historical records for the time of year here as we move into the second week of September. This morning's satellite imagery is showing the main feature that will be affecting our weather this week. That's that area of low pressure off of the Canadian coast. This trough is going to move further east and south over the next couple of days, bringing an increase in southwest winds to the Great Basin ahead of a cold front moving into central Idaho by Tuesday. No high-risk triggers have been issued for this afternoon, as warm, dry, and calm conditions are expected. Again, light winds and low relative humidities are expected across the geographic area today. By tomorrow, however, we'll begin to see winds pick up over Idaho and far western Nevada out ahead of that low pressure trough. The strongest winds will take place over eastern Idaho and portions of western Wyoming, and also pick up over far western Nevada and southwest Utah. Relative humidities are going to be quite low, especially over Nevada, with most of those values coming in at 6 or 7%. By Tuesday, the trough will continue to make its progression further south and east, and we'll be more concerned about the winds over Nevada, northwest Utah, and far eastern Idaho. There will be a cold front moving into the mountains of central Idaho and southwest Idaho by Tuesday, dropping temperatures pretty significantly. Most of the precipitation will stay out of the Great Basin, but the mountains of central Idaho there on the northern fringe of the geographic area could begin to see some precipitation on Tuesday. A closer look at the winds for Tuesday afternoon shows them really increasing over western Nevada and portions of southern Utah as well as eastern Idaho. Maximum temperatures on Tuesday are shown in the image on the right, with the highs dropping into the 60s and even the 50s in some areas over the central Idaho mountains and western Wyoming. Most of the cooling will take place over the north on Tuesday, with that cooler air moving further south later in the week. 3-day precipitation totals are shown here, with really only the central Idaho mountains seeing any chance of precipitation associated with that cold front. By Wednesday, the trough continues to dig further south, and we'll see winds continuing over Nevada and western Utah, with cooler temperatures filtering into portions of northern Nevada and northwest Utah also. The trough begins to make its way further east by Thursday. Again, winds will continue across the southern Great Basin. For the most part, this cold front looks to be on the drier side for Nevada and Utah, with just an increase in relative humidity and a decrease in some temperatures. And the trough seems to be exiting the area by Friday, with a return of some dry westerly winds to the geographic area. And this trend will continue into Saturday. The 7-day precipitation totals really only reflect the chance for some precipitation coming to the central Idaho mountains, with the best chance right along that northern border on the Payette there. For the third week of September, we'll see a return of above normal temperatures to much of the geographic area and below normal chances for precipitation. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.